think a lot of people don't understand how important gratitude is when you're on the path of growing to become better. And what I mean by that is you find yourself lacking motivation, you find yourself day to day just kind of almost sulking, sitting yourself down, being lazy, being unmotivated to do things. And that itself is already going to be a problem. And it often comes from over fixating on getting to where you want to be with getting the end result quicker. And a lot of people can bring up this as discipline. Oh, just if you want it bad enough, you just do it. It's not like there's no motivation, there's only discipline. I feel like a lot of people will come out and say something like that when in reality, some people I guess can do that, but at least in my own experience, some stories I've heard from other people I know, is you fall back down a lot of the time. There's times when I say I'm going to be disciplined, I'm going to stay locked in with this certain thing I'm trying to do, but then I get about a couple weeks, a month into it, and the motivation's gone. I still really want the end goal. I still want to get that delayed gratification, but I'm losing a day where I don't do anything because I'm not as, either in my instance, which I think is pretty common in a lot of people, they just don't have the straight up 100% in like discipline set in, set out, no matter what, you're going to do it. Because I feel like for you to be perfect in that manner, either takes a lot of just training with that sort of mental strength, or kind of get a little lucky sometimes. So in the battle of that, that's what I want to talk about today, is gratitude. Because gratitude is that checkpoint, that self-awareness, that self-worth that is going to come in moments like this where you're feeling dismotivated, you don't feel like doing the things you need to do to get that delayed gratification. And something I've been noticing and trying to implement recently for the past week, what I've been doing is any time where I'm feeling like lazy or tired, or in a time where I don't really want to do the work that I need to do, and instead of just forcing myself to do it, you always feel better doing the work when you're in a better mood, when you're in a better headspace, compared to when you're just doing it out of straight force, or you're trying to do things that don't really feel like they're aligning in the moment. So that's where the gratitude comes in. And what I've been doing is simply just anytime I feel that way is thinking about what I do have, thinking about what I have accomplished. I've already talked about this a little bit, but going more into depth is straight into gratitude, because it's an important practice that is going to help you stay locked in with the growth, the path that you're trying to do to better yourself. Because without it, you're gonna burn out. That's what I was talking about earlier. Is without it, you're gonna burn out. You're gonna stay in that hole of laziness, because you don't even realize what you've already done. Back to gratitude. So think of what you do have. What I've been doing is simply just stating 3 things that are either right in front of me that I can see and be like, wow, that's something I'm witnessing right now in the present moment. Or I think to something like as basic as a conversation with someone, or I have these people in my life, I have this thing in my life, I have done this thing through even the journey you're going through right now, through the growth. Like, I could relate it back to this. You could relate it back to the gym, for example. You can look at how I'm not motivated to go today, but then you look back and I went this whole month, every day, I didn't skip a day. And you're going to be like, wow, I have all that, so why not know that you're capable of doing more? This gratitude helps you realize what you're capable of and what you've already done and what you already have, so that you can push past it. You can grow even more. You can do it without forcing yourself to do it. You realize how good you have it in a way. Like, it's almost as if your mind tricks you into thinking like you've done enough, or you think you know more than you do. You think you You don't really need to do those things. You can rest, and all those things are important at some points, but if you want to be able to keep growing without losing that rhythm, I think that is an important thing for me is the rhythm. Is when I take breaks, it ruins that rhythm. And something that's been able to keep me on the track without losing my rhythm is the gratitude, is thinking like, wow, like I'm driving, those clouds, simple as that, those clouds look amazing, and I'm just here driving, try not to sit in that hole that I'm talking about. I get home and I talk to my mom, something like simple as that it's gonna remind you what you do have, so that you can keep going. You don't have to sit on this where you have to take a big step each time with your growth. It's you do one day and then reflect on that day and be like, wow, I have that day. It's not like you go through all the days like they don't matter, because each day does matter. Each action you do does matter. And when you realize how important each action is, you're gonna realize, and through gratitude, when you realize that, when you think about that, you're gonna cherish each day more than normal, instead of letting them just pass by and thinking of your routine as something, just something I have to do. Like when you think of it like that, it was just a week of I went to the gym. Then that next week, you're gonna feel less motivated. You're gonna feel more forced to do it, compared to the guy who was like, dang, I went to the gym today. So that's a good completion. That's a good checkpoint. I'm proud of myself for it. And now the next day, you're gonna have that same fulfillment from it. You're gonna have, instead of not having anything to think about, you're more fulfilled from that day, instead of just treating it as like, oh, I had to do it anyway. Like I just have to do it. There's no other option. But you're gonna feel the presence. Without the presence and taking for, when you take the day for granted, you're gonna feel less inclined to want to do the next day. That's a very simple way to put it, because without the gratitude, you're gonna burn out. You're gonna feel less fulfilled in the present moment, and that's ultimately the most important part, is the present moment. You can't set up a whole plan with weeks ahead and then only have the end goal in mind, because halfway through it, whatever you've done, it's almost like it doesn't matter, because the only thing you care about is the end goal, when in reality you have to care about each day as a win, so that you can view the next one as another opportunity to win, another slight step forward to what the delayed gratification actually is. And that's what's gonna keep you more motivated and keep you more happy and fulfilled at the end of the day. There's so many people that just let each day go by without even noticing how much they've really done, how much they've really grown. And it's gonna affect how much you really notice how happy you are in general. There's times where I've noticed where I've gone weeks I'm in rhythm, I'm doing what I'm doing, and then I hit a day where I just don't feel like doing anything, and it stops me in my tracks, because I didn't realize how much I've already done, how important and how much fulfillment what I've done should have already given me. I've taken it for granted, and just viewed that the end goal as something so over stimulating that everything I've done meant nothing, when in reality it most likely means more than the actual end goal, because that's where you're going to learn the most, that's where you're going to grow the most. You're not going to grow when you get the trophy. You're not going to grow when you get the body you wanted. You're not going to grow when you get what you wanted. You grow when you work for what you want or for what you need. And gratitude is just a strong factor in how to keep that momentum, how to notice what you have in the moment. And when you notice how important the present moment is, what you already have is the self-worth, the self-love, then the next day becomes way better, way more enjoyable, way more fulfilling, way happier. And it just switches the way your brain thinks. Your brain is gonna, instead of kicking out all that week of work you did, you have a whole 7-day list of things you can be happy about. And that's only off of 1 week of growth. and you still have all these other days that you can look forward to as the same fulfillment without taking it for granted. It's just, and the simple action of listing 3 things out loud in your head, writing it down, you in that moment you smile, you feel happy. That's obviously going to make you feel better than if you just never even thought about it in the first place and let it be, or let it to rest, or pretend like it never even happened. So next time you do feel like unmotivated, burnt out, or feeling like you don't want to do the thing anymore, simply think about 3 things you already have. List them out, name them out, so that you think about those things. It's almost like going to your happy place. And from your mood is automatically going to go up from that. And you're going to realize how today doing what you need to do is going to bring you that same fulfillment as thinking about what you've already done. You think about how proud you were or how good it felt to complete your whole day yesterday. Imagine the feeling of doing it today. It's the same rhythm, same work that you need to put so that your brain tricks you into thinking, wow, this day was actually really important, instead of, wow, this week didn't even, like, it didn't make me grow at all, which in reality it did. So that's what I want to talk about today. Think about gratitude, implement it into your lives, practice it more often, and you're going to notice, even if just for that moment, you're going to think happier and feel more motivated to do things over longer periods of time. So yeah, that's what I want to talk about today. I'll see you guys later.